Coming up on this edition of The Shield, we profile a local business that has a lot more to offer than meets the eye.
And we take a look at how you can stay up to date during winter weather.
We've seen a lot of heavy snow in portions of New York, including cities of Buffalo and anywhere along the lakes. Michigan is seeing quite a bit of snow too. Across the country, snow has begun to fall, but what does it look like for the state of Indiana? I'll have your forecast coming up in just a little bit. You're watching The Shield here on VUTV.
Thank you for joining us here on The Shield. I'm Cody.
And I'm Aimee Heyden.
Oftentimes, students on campus overlook the many activities that businesses have just a short walk from campus.
And that's right, Ricky. This week, Shield News correspondent Timothy Richmond met up with local business owner Chad Clifford to talk about the joys of running a music store and playing in a band.
Balancing hobby and business is difficult for many people, but that's exactly what Front Porch owner Chad Clifford does every day.
I've been a musician my whole life. When I graduated high school, I moved to LA and lived there for a little while. And then I decided that I wanted to do something else to use some other skills other than just playing music. So I started doing some booking, and I went to school at a school in Chicago called Columbia College. Around the same time I was graduating from there, this little music store opened up in Valparaiso. And I worked my way up to store manager, and about 7 years ago I bought the place because the original owners were looking to get out, and so I purchased it from them and haven't looked back.
Front Porch Music, located on Lincoln Way, just a mile from campus, offers a variety of musical instruments, accessories, and other services, such as lessons and instrument repair. In addition to these standard services, this music store has much more to offer.
And the thing that really makes us stand out from other music stores is in our basement we've got a stage where we have open mics every Thursday, and then on the weekends we have different acts that come and play. I balance being in a band, owning a business, owning a recording studio, and I do solo shows, and then I also have 4 kids, so you just learn to balance the things that are important.
Timothy Richard reporting. Last Thursday, the Office of Multicultural Programs held their first ever Careers and Communications panel for students. This core 5th hour approved event brought professionals ranging from work in freelance to healthcare PR to broadcast media. Students were able to ask questions regarding the fields of interest. The goal of the event was to show students that while the field of communications is competitive, the opportunities for all students are available through internships and job shadows. VUTV will have a complete panel discussion airing later this week right here on Channel 82.
And winter weather is hard enough as it is, but social media can certainly take it to the extreme. Storm Shield meteorologist Andrew Whitmire shows us how we can stay ahead of the social media hype on this year's winter.
Winter is often everyone's least favorite season of the year, but with the rise of social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter, winter can be predicted much worse than it may actually be.
I don't really rely on Facebook. I have an app on my phone that I follow just day-by-day basis.
There are a lot of forecasters that enjoy giving wintertime predictions, and honestly I think it's more fun to predict something dramatic. Some of the forecasts are almost tongue-in-cheek, but lots of people are forecasting a cold winter similar to last year, but there really aren't any objective methods that can be used to make that kind of dramatic sort of prediction.
With Facebook, you can tell if a site might be accurate by how many page likes it has. If it has a lot of page likes, then it could be a good source to get weather information. Also look for the blue check mark that are located on Facebook and Twitter pages. This means that Facebook and Twitter have verified those pages. Another site you can always trust to get accurate weather information, though, is through the National Weather Service.
Now, with all the social media hype on the winter outlook, you can always trust NOAA, though. This is coming from the Climate Prediction Center. This is for the precipitation probability for December through February. It's predicting the southern regions of the country to be a little bit wetter. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean snow, but that does mean they could see more moisture than what they normally see between December and February. It'll be drier up on the west coast region, and also back here at home it will be a little bit drier as well as far as precipitation goes. Now let's take a look at temperature probability from December to February. Again, it's going to be near 40% cooler than what it normally is for these 3 months in the wintertime period. It's going to be warmer on the west coast, and then up on the upper east coast it's going to be still warmer than what it normally is, and then back here at home it's going to have equal chances for temperatures across the winter period. So take this with a grain of salt if you would, but again, these are just predictions, and not even NOAA can predict what exactly will happen this upcoming winter. These are again just all based on predictions, so we'll just have to wait and see how this winter weather will shape up.
And speaking of all that winter weather, we're going to send it over to Lynnette Grant in the weather studio, who's going to give us a look at just how cold it could get heading into your Thanksgiving break.
That's right, you guys. Cold has been the weather word of the week. Still below normal, nowhere near that 46. Lows tonight, our record low is 16 degrees. Some spots could be breaking that, but I do have good news for you, especially going into Thanksgiving break. I'll have your full forecast coming up in a little bit. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's a better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it... If Daniel won't change your mind, baby,
broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music, on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
For over 100 years, VU has trusted the torch for reliable and accurate accounts of campus happenings. And with an end of a century, we would like to say thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Velpo.
We have been covering stories that will impact you both in print and online. For Player Spotlight and next week events, to the opinions you have, count on us as Valpo's most reliable source for campus happenings. 4-time winner of College Weekly of the Year, The Torch, home of the truth, celebrating 100 years of excellence in journalism.
Welcome back to The Shield. Now, with many retailers already pushing their holiday sales weeks before Black Friday, many are wondering if it is even worth waiting till that day. While consumers may find some deals right now, many items will be worth the wait. Karen Kafel looks at what should be bought now and what will be worth the wait.
As Black Friday gives way to Gray Thursday and Cyber Monday continues to grow, strategizing for the best deals can be confusing. Personal finance expert Vera Gibbons says there's one area where shoppers may want to be shopping right now.
If you're in the market for the really hot, super hot toys, the toys that are out on the best toy list that have been released by Amazon and the likes, I wouldn't necessarily wait to get these hot toys.
If it's a gadget on the list, Gibbons suggests Black Friday, and that's in line with a list from Kiplinger's Personal Finance that suggests that day, or for some retailers, Thanksgiving, for items like cookware and small appliances, HD TVs, tablets, laptops, and video games and consoles. That may surprise some shoppers looking for the best electronics deals on Cyber Monday. But Gibbons says the big online shopping day is the day to snag apparel.
You tend to see 45% more clothing deals on Cyber Monday itself. And Cyber Monday is generally when you see store-wide discounts. You know, take 30% off everything, take 40% off everything. So if you have a favorite retailer or a favorite brand, Cyber Monday would be an excellent time to shop for apparel.
Consumers who will do most of their shopping online may want to get an even earlier start. A survey by Adobe predicts overall online prices will be at their lowest on Thanksgiving Day. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kafel.
The terror group ISIS claims to have beheaded American hostage Peter Casing. The video was published online this past Sunday. It shows the aftermath of a beheading. The victim is clearly not recognizable, rather. CNN has not confirmed the video's authenticity. Casing is a former U.S. Army Ranger. He was captured in Syria more than a year ago, where he had been working as a medical worker. Casing converted to the Islamic religion in captivity. His family asked that he referred by his Muslim name, Abdul Rahman Casing. He was last seen alive in the beheading video of the British worker Alan Henning in October. In a statement, Casing's parents said that they were waiting for the government confirmation on his death, and he asked for privacy, saying, "We prefer our son is written about and remembered for his important work and the love he shared with his friends and family." President Barack Obama issued a statement later Sunday confirming the killing, saying, quote, he was taken from an act of pure evil by a terrorist group that the world rightly associates with inhumanity. Casing is the 5th Westerner to be beheaded by ISIS since August 2014.
Well, mixing drinks is one thing, but can mixing alcohol with guns actually be safe? The first gun range with a full bar has just opened in Oklahoma City. Even Governor Mary Fallin got hands-on at the controversial facility's grand opening. CNN's David Mattingly reports.
Take just 2 steps inside and you'll know this is not your father's gun store.
The first thing I saw right here by the door was the bar. That's right. That's right.
How about some beer and cocktails to go with your smoking gun chili and locked and loaded nachos? But the cafe and lounge at Oklahoma City's Wilshire Gun is just the most obvious change in the way owner Jeff Swanson wants to sell you a gun.
We've set up kind of like you would an Apple store.
Is that where you got the idea to have the guns on display like this?
Absolutely. That among other places.
So people can actually have hands-on experience with the weapon?
A much more tactile environment.
It's 8,000 square feet of retail space targeting first-time gun buyers and designed to make it less intimidating, especially for women and families.
Are children allowed to handle the display weapons?
With parental guidance and RSOs and everyone else watching, yes, they're able to come up and enjoy that experience with their parents and see it. Responsible gun ownership should start young and in the home and with the parents.
There will be critics who say if you let children into your store to handle these weapons, you're encouraging them to perhaps use it at home, possibly, to play with it at home. Could that be happening here?
That certainly is not our goal.
The educational approach seems to be working. This mother brought her children in for safety training.
I feel more comfortable knowing that they're not going to go and be looking at my gun. They've actually experienced that.
RSOs, range safety officers, patrol the floor. Safety is paramount, but the mission here is to sell. Not sure what to buy? There are private gun fitting rooms for consultation.
Gun fitting. It sounds like you're trying on clothes.
It is, and it isn't.
Still not sure with your pick? Take it to the range for a test run. But before you go, there are also classrooms to pay for instructions and do's and don'ts. You can even pay to use simulators like this to test your decision making.
Come on! Shoot me!
Would a typical customer want to go through these kind of scenarios?
Yes, they do, actually.
And it can all add up. The bar is actually the last place you can spend money in here.
The RSOs then do not allow you to check into any of the ranges and will prohibit you from entering any of the ranges for the remainder of the day, either as a shooter or as a spectator.
Once you buy alcohol, your shooting time is over. And by the time the shopping is done, you might need that drink.
That'll be interesting to see how that facility shapes up. If you're interested in sharing what you think about that story, go ahead and log on to our Facebook page, search Valpo VUTV, and let us know what you think. In other news, the U.S. State Department is stepping up security of its email systems after a suspected hacking. Senior official Jeff Rathke said that the department recently detected activity of concern. Rathke also said only unclassified email systems were affected. The State Department shut down the email system and public websites over the weekend to upgrade security. Officials haven't said who's behind the activity, but they say it is related to the hacking of the White House computers reported last month.
We detected activity of concern several weeks ago, and as a result, we immediately formed a team to develop and implement a response plan in coordination with cybersecurity experts from DHS and from other agencies. And we are implementing carefully planned improvements to the security of our main unclassified network, taking advantage of a scheduled outage. Let me also highlight that no classified systems have been affected by this incident.
And we have some heartwarming news out of California. A baby giraffe gets his first look at the outside world. Take a look at a 4-day-old giraffe venturing outside for the very first time earlier in the week.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
It is. His name is Buttercup, but he isn't that small at all, at least compared to the visitors of the Santa Barbara Zoo. The day after he was born, Buttercup came in at 6 foot 8 inches tall and 186 pounds.
Well, everything's new to him if you think about it. He's 4 days old, so he had never seen a bird before, he's never seen rocks before, so the wind feels different outside of the barn, so just everything's new, and he's reacting to that and then running back to what he knows.
That was adorable. And just ahead, Storm Shield meteorologist Lynnette Grant will be back with a full look at your Valpo weather forecast and what it's going to mean for you as you leave here, coming up on Friday or Saturday. Stick with us.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
And now, your dependable and accurate weather forecast with meteorologist Lynnette Grant.
As I mentioned before, we have one more day of dealing with this cold weather we've been seeing all week. Things will be getting warmer, but unfortunately they are going to be getting wetter by the time we get into Thanksgiving break. Let's take a look at those temperatures. A lot of blue across the map and even some purple up to the north. We'll see those cooler temperatures coming into Valparaiso and Northwest Indiana by tomorrow morning. 18 degrees is what they're saying for about 7 o'clock tomorrow. Well, throughout the afternoon, we'll see those temperatures warm to right around 32 degrees here in Valpo. But that heat, again, staying off to the west. We've seen that a lot so far this month already. We'll go into the overnight hours and temperatures are not going to drop off very much. In fact, on Saturday, we're going to see those temperatures warm into the low 40s. So thankfully, we'll see those warmer temperatures. But on the flip side, we're going to have to deal with some rainy conditions. We'll zoom in a little closer to home. We see right around low 20s by 7 o'clock tonight. Clear conditions overnight tonight. No rainfall, no clouds until tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow looks very nice for driving back home for your Thanksgiving break. Nothing really to worry about. We'll see, like I said, we'll see those clouds begin to come in at about 6 o'clock Friday evening. Once we go into the overnight hours, that's when we begin to see some of that rain. I want you to take a look at this too. You see these temperatures? They're right around 33 degrees. So when this rain does fall Saturday morning across much of northern Indiana, unfortunately a lot of it is going to fall as freezing rain. So you need to take precautions and give yourself extra time Saturday traveling anywhere because it's going to be very icy and very dicey outside. So just be safe driving anywhere on Saturday, especially if you're going to that football game Saturday afternoon. 44 degrees is what we're saying for kickoff, so it's going to be very brisk, especially with those rainy and windy conditions throughout much of the afternoon. We'll go into tonight though. 15 degrees overnight tonight. Clear conditions are going to allow it to be very chilly and brisk conditions with those winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour at times out of the west-northwest. Tomorrow, we'll see those temperatures warm to right around 30 degrees. Those clouds will build later, though, ahead of that freezing rain that we are going to see Saturday morning. So traveling looks a lot better Friday than it does on Saturday. Temperatures will be warming, though, Friday up to 44 degrees and 49 by the time we get into Sunday. We see those rain showers continue. Monday, we see another cold front passing, bringing some of that rain and snowy conditions on the backside, and then some possible flurries by the time we get into Tuesday. So, guys, I hope you're going home Friday, because Friday's looking a lot better travel-wise than it does on Saturday.
You know it's cold. Well, first off, we may mention this when you were talking, but you know it's cold when your wardrobe that you're wearing is matching like the back color of the purples and the dark blues. It's like, at one point I was like, okay, like you know it's that cold when it matches your wardrobe, you know?
Yeah. In fact, it shouldn't be this cold. I mean, I'm not even wearing a jacket. I don't want to go outside in this at all.
Right.
Yeah, once you start matching the purples and the blues, I'm just ready to stay indoors and just not deal.
It's been really nice to just stay indoors this past week. Thankfully, we are going to warm up, but we're still going to have to deal with rain.
But still, it's going to be kind of chilly.
A little bit, yep.
Thanks, Lynnette. And right after the break, we'll have Rachel Dabertin joining us for a full recap on a busy weekend for Crusader Athletics. Stay with us for the full details.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
And joining us now with a look at what was a very, very busy week in Crusader Athletics is Rachel Dabertin. Rachel, what can you tell us?
Thanks, guys. There were a brave of games and matches for Valpo fans to stay tuned this weekend. So let's waste no time and jump right into it. The main event of the last week has been women's soccer as they headed to Notre Dame for the NCAA tournament. While they played well, the Crusaders were virtually on defense for the entire match, and it seemed as though it would be enough to force overtime. But with 30 seconds to go in regulation, the Irish Kaylee Omiss scored the match's only goal to give Notre Dame the win over Valpo 25-1. On the gridiron, the football team took their talents to the beautiful city of San Diego, California to take on the Trarios. The Crusaders played the absolute stellar football they've been wanting to play all season against the best team in the PLF. They were leading within seconds, but however, San Diego had the answer. They played the infamous Hail Mary as time expired and connected to defeat the Crusaders by a score of 32-27. Over to the hardwood, where the volleyball team traveled to Chicago to finish their regular season against UIC. The game plan going into the match was to control the best hitters in the Horizon League, Stephanie Yancey. Well, not only did they succeed, but they also played dominant volleyball and took the match in straight sets. The Crusaders traveled to Rochester, Michigan this week to be the third seed in the Horizon League tournament. Lastly, the basketball season is underway. The men's team defeated East Tennessee in their first match of the season by the score of 90-76. After starting off the season 1-0, the Crusaders traveled to Missouri to take on Mizzou. They kept it in close majority for the game, but Alex Peter in foul trouble, the Tigers pulled away late and Valpo lost the final game 56-41. The women's season also tipped off this past weekend. The Crusaders' home opener against rival Butler, and the girls played extremely well. They took an 11-point lead in the half, but the second was the story. Valpo scored 58 points in the second half and won the game by a final score of 91-57. That wraps it up for this week in Valpo Sports. But stay tuned as we have Valpo sports correspondent Arthur Bradley with a season recap for Valpo football.
As the fall sports season comes to a close, the Valpo Crusaders football team has made drastic improvements in large because of new coach Dave Cicchini and his coaching staff. The Crusaders have won as many games this year as they did the previous 3 years with Coach Dale Carlson at the helm.
One of the main differences between last year and this year is the team attitude. Last year it was kind of, let's just make it through the season and let's do as best as we can. This year we've gotten a lot better. We can do with everything we want to do. We feel like we've got better coaching now. We're put in better situations, and we feel like we can go out there and dominate everybody.
And in accordance with the play of the players on the field has increased dramatically, from the elite running style of Brandon Hall to the lockdown defense of John Guilford.
Under center this time, Lehman. Out of the I formation, they hand to Brandon Hall. Nice move, cut back, 45, 50, angles far side, 45, 40, 35, 30. Hall all the way down to the 20 and out of bounds.
The Crusaders have been clicking on all cylinders this year with an impressive victory over school rival Butler, winning the Hoosier helmet, which was one of Coach Cicchini's goals for the team this year.
It was an amazing feeling after losing it since 2007, and especially just suffering the devastating loss 72-12 last year. It was just heartbreaking. We just had to do whatever we had to do in order to bring that helmet back to Valpo. Coach Chick talked about this thing in the meetings about making sure you bring it back home for not only yourselves, but people for coming up in generations to come to Valpo, that they have something to hear about and they have something to remember and they have something to look forward to when they come here to Valpo. Instead of just looking at a picture on a wall, they have the actual helmet that they can actually show to recruits.
Now with one game left, the Crusaders hope to end on a good note. So look out, Pioneer Football League, because the Valpo Crusaders are coming.
And always stay tuned to all things Valpo Athletics at valpoathletics.com. Guys, back to you.
Well, you know what? It was a great season in Valpo football.
Much improved.
Much improved. And as you know, as a senior too, you go out to these games, and it's said that one less athletic event that I'll be able to go to.
And it's so good to see, though, that just a new coach has really turned this entire team around, and it's definitely a positive outlook for the next upcoming years as well.
They really have, and I think this season has shown a lot of their potential, and I think it gives them kind of an overview of what's going to be in the next coming years.
Definitely exciting.
Thanks so much, Rachel. We're going to have a very last look of your Valpo weather forecast coming up right after the break. Stay with us right here on Channel 82.
What makes VU Science Olympiad so special to me is that it's really an amazing opportunity that brings literally hundreds of middle and high school students to campus to pursue their passion for science.
There are different events focused on biology, chemistry, physics, and also some engineering type events where they build things and bring them to the competition to test them. So it's great for students to learn more about the sciences, get involved.
Interested in the television industry? Stop by our office in Schnabel Hall and join VUTV today.
And Lynnette Grant joins us for a final look at our Valpo weather forecast. And Lynnette, will it be an easy trip home for Thanksgiving break?
If you're traveling home on Friday, things are going to be a lot easier going home than if you're traveling on Saturday. Friday looks to be pretty nice, just a lot of sun, a few clouds here and there building during the evening, but then Saturday, early in the morning, that's when we have that freezing rain coming and that rain sticking around for the afternoon. Sunday, another rainy day, but thankfully temperatures will warm to near 50 degrees. We cool off a little bit at the beginning of next week with chances of rain and some snow. But like the question, to answer your question, traveling on Friday, things are going to be a lot easier and a lot more easygoing than if you're traveling on Saturday.
Yeah, and we also have that football game on Saturday, one of the last football games, I believe, of the season for the Crusaders at home. So it might not be the most enjoyable weather, but like we were talking about in that last segment, could be a good game to watch.
Yes, most definitely. This game, coming back from last week, me and the Crusaders are at their highest point of the season. So hopefully it'll be another win. It's going to be cold, but I think some fans will be out there.
Yeah, people, if you're going to the game, you need to make sure to bring that jacket and that scarf with you, and then that umbrella maybe too.
Thank you guys so much, as always. Remember, you can stay up to date on anything Valpo related at valpo.com/ or youtube.com/ValpoVUTV. For everyone here at VUTV, for Rachel, Lynnette, and Aimee and myself, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Have a great Thanksgiving break. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.